Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for March 6th, 2025. The Restoration of Prayer from James chapter 5, verse 18. Then he prayed again, and heaven gave rain, and the earth bore its fruit. James here continues the story of Elijah, shifting from the drought of judgment to the reign of restoration. After 3.5 years of barrenness, Elijah's prayer once again moves God's hand, bringing life back to the land. This verse isn't just a historical footnote. It's a vivid picture of God's mercy and the power of persistent faith. Elijah's first prayer stopped the rain, aligning with God's will to confront Israel's idolatry. But this second prayer shows the other side of God's heart, God's desire to renew and bless. The phrase, "he prayed again," highlights Elijah's steadfast trust. He didn't give up after the drought. He returned to God, expecting him to act. Scripture tells us this moment came after Elijah's showdown with the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel, where God's power was undeniable. Yet, even then, the rain didn't come until Elijah prayed, showing that God invites us into his work through prayer. Heaven gave rain, and the earth bore its fruit. This paints a scene of abundance after scarcity. This isn't about weather. It's a symbol of God's grace breaking through. The rain restored the land, just as God's mercy restores us. Elijah's role reminds us that prayer isn't a one-time act, but an ongoing conversation with God, trusting him through judgment and restoration alike. What's striking is the simplicity of the outcome. Rain fell, crops grew. God's response to Elijah's prayer met a basic need, yet it carried eternal weight, pointing to God's faithfulness. For us, this mirrors how God works in our lives. We may not see fire from heaven, but we experience his provision in ordinary ways. Peace in chaos, strength in weakness, hope in despair. These are the fruit of faithful prayer. Elijah's example challenges us to persevere. After praying for rain, he sent his servant to look for clouds 7 times before a small one appeared. Faith isn't passive. It's persistent, watching for God's answer, even when it tarries. This aligns with James' broader teaching. Prayer is powerful when offered in righteousness and trust, not in doubt or despair. For us today, this verse is a call to keep praying, even when skies seem silent. Whether we're seeking personal renewal or interceding for others, God hears and responds in his perfect time. The rain that fell for Elijah foreshadows the greater restoration we have in Christ, who brings life to our dry places through his death and resurrection. So let Elijah's story inspire us to approach God with expectation. Our prayers, like his, can usher in seasons of fruitfulness, not because we're extraordinary, but because God is. In every need, let's turn to him trusting that He delights in bringing life from barrenness. God's peace and many blessings be with you. And thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others.